Good morning. Good morning. I am not a professional speaker, so just know that at the beginning. I don't prepare this stuff very well, but I brought all kinds of stuff. So everybody's going to be playing in a half hour. Or we'll find something else to do with these things. You've been good?
I was good once upon a time.
Okay. We'll have some video near the end, or in the middle, somewhere. Depends on how it shows up. Okay, when I start boring you, let me know. I've got something to pass out. To the pass out person. I think so.
You can have.
Okay. First of all, my name is Len Winkler, for those of you who don't know. And I play table tennis. I've been doing it for a few years now, like 45 or something. It's just a great sport. I've always enjoyed it. I always played it pretty well. I always thought I was really good when I was like about 18 years of age. You know, I used to hold the paddle, something like this, and I thought I was really good. Then I went to the Chicago Table Tennis Club, and I couldn't get a point. Then I found out how good I was. And it's a whole different world. Anyway, I became a certified umpire. I'm the only one in the state of Hawaii that is certified to umpire a sanctioned tournament. They've never had one in Hawaii before. Not that that's a big deal, but it is something. I'm a certified coach. I've gone through coaching seminars. In fact, my coach is an Olympic player, a world-class player. Of course, I don't play in tournaments anymore. But it's okay, I tried. And we started a club in Hawaii, and we encourage everybody to come. There's some information on the forum there when we play, and we play on Tuesday nights and Thursday nights, and we also have a senior group that comes on at 10 o'clock, and everybody at every skill level is able to come. We encourage it. In fact, who here has never played ping pong? Really? Okay. Because almost everybody has played when you were growing up. You played in the garage, or you played in the basement, or you played somewhere. It is the second most popular sport in the world behind soccer. Only soccer is played by more people than ping pong. Now, unfortunately, in the United States, we treat it as just a recreational activity. We don't really treat it as a major sport. Yet it is a major sport. In 1988, it became part of the Olympics. Of course, baseball is not in the Olympics anymore, but table tennis is. So obviously it's played a lot. It's the first venue sold out at the Olympics, by the way. So it's always filled. The table tennis is always filled. The Chinese currently are pretty dominant in the world. We just had the World Championships a couple weeks ago in Croatia, and the Chinese won everything. Men's, women's, singles, they won everything. So the best players are from Europe and from China. The United States, we stink. Our best players are the women, and our top 2 players are in the top 20 in the world, and they're women, but they're both originally from China. And both were on the Chinese team. One was a doubles world champion, but then they get old, you know, and the new crop comes out. It's very political in that country, and so they were kind of allowed to migrate to the United States, and so they came, and now we use them. So, but as far as the men are concerned, well, they really aren't that. So, the best player in the United States of America is about 400th in the world. So that's how bad we are. So, again, that is not here nor there. If you're interested in the history, I wrote it all down, and I'll just tell you a few things. Britain, the United States, as well as India and South Africa have all been thought of as the place that started table tennis. King George VI had a table installed at Buckingham Palace, and at the outbreak of World War II, he actually provided his daughter with facilities at Balmoral Castle. This is not surprising, as table tennis combines a lot of features and people really love it. It gives agility to the player, demands good footwork, lightning speed, promotes faster reflexes. It's really an exhilarating sport. There's nobody, I come from Phoenix before I came here, and in the Scottsdale area, we have 2 senior centers. Those senior centers each have 2 ping pong tables. They have an aerobics room that they use. And the only thing bad about it, of course, they each have a mirror wall, so everybody sees, they're looking at themselves and they're hitting, so they miss the ball a lot. But there are seniors there that are playing, it seems like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're always there. And there are just so many people waiting to play on these 2 verschnickene tables. They can't get 2 rooms, 3 rooms, 1 room with 2 tables. And the people are all waiting, and so they play a lot of doubles, which is something we haven't really played yet at the senior group. But that's something we should maybe think about. But you can play 2. That way, when you miss, you can blame it on your partner instead of take all the blame yourself. So, but the seniors love it, and it's amazing how much agility and how much endurance. I know Jacob was there this last Thursday, huffing and puffing, after 1 minute of play. And how did you feel on Friday morning? Good. You told me you were so tired you couldn't move. Which is the truth? And Tito, he's been coming, and he came to a few nights. The first night he came, I'm telling you, the first night you came by yourself. Second night was with his son. He played for 5 minutes. He was tired. Okay, I mean, he could do karaoke for 2 hours, but this 5 minutes, and exhausted. Then the next time played longer and longer in the senior group. He played the whole time, right? This last Thursday. I mean, he played almost the whole 2 hours. So you build up your endurance. Right, everybody can play. I mean, no matter, how good or bad you are, everybody has some hand-eye coordination. I'm telling you that in Japan, they did a study that absolutely positively does something with the neurons in the brain, and it's very rhythmatic, the ping pong. In fact, that's how it's got its name, from the sound, ping pong. I'll answer another thing, because I don't really call it ping pong, because ping pong is a trade name. It's owned by Parker Brothers. And I can read you and bore you with it, but I know some of these things off my head. But Parker Brothers actually came up with it and named it ping pong. And they still, to this day, own the name ping pong. They give that particular trade name to a company called Escalade Sports, which is in Indiana. And Escalade Sports makes a table called the ping pong table. They also make ping pong brand paddles. Now, this is really all recreational. If it's ping pong, it's not professional. It's very recreational. And it can be sold by only one company in the world, and that's Sears. So if you want a ping pong product, Sears Roebuck owns the rights for exclusive worldwide sales of the ping pong brand. So which is why we call it table tennis, which is a horrible name because it has nothing at all to do with tennis. It is just, a good tennis player does not play table tennis well. It's a whole different stroke. In fact, I've coached many players who are tennis players who their knees are bad or whatever, and so they don't want to go running all over and they want to play table tennis. Oh, it's going to be so easy. Well, let me tell you, it does not translate well. It's hard to hold this paddle with 2 hands, And so it just doesn't translate. But if you were a table tennis player and you want to play tennis, that works pretty well because, first of all, you don't have to be as fast in tennis as you do in table tennis. How fast do you have to be? I love to throw this statistic. When I did a lot of TV spots in Phoenix for table tennis, and when I was on TV, the news anchors always took this one line, so I know they did it. It's obviously something that's significant. In Major League Baseball, most people in the world will agree that the most difficult thing in all of sport is hitting a Major League curveball or Major League fastball. And they say table tennis is right there in the next 3 quarters, most difficult things to do. But in the time that a Major League Baseball player has to swing his bat after, the pitcher is 60 feet, 6 inches from the batter, and he throws the ball 90 to 100 miles an hour. While in table tennis at the highest levels, we hit the ball over 90 miles an hour, and we're only 10 feet from our opponent. So in the time that the batter has swung from the ball released from the pitcher, we have hit the ball 6 times. So that's to give you an idea of the speed of table tennis. It is a fun recreational game, you can do that, but at the real Olympic level, at the professional level, it's a whole different sport. You have less than a quarter of a second between hits. So, mind you, you have to be able to do that, and then the ball's over here, you got to be back here to do it again. And you see some of these people do a stroke like this. And then the ball's over there. They watch it, and all they can do is go pick it up. And we have to do short strokes that are real fast. I mean, just hear me stomping. It's wood floors. Carpeting would be better. Somebody who was at the senior group last week. Because when I serve, I do something weird. I throw the ball, then I serve, and I go like that. So you always hear this sound, right? So someone asked me when we were leaving, is that required? Is that one of the rules? Do I have to stomp? So, why do you stomp? There's a reason for my stomping. Now, when I play you guys, unless there's a ringer here, when I play you guys, I don't need to do the stomping. My serve is good enough. Tito probably will tell you. Tito's been doing this, by the way. I've been practicing for the wine. But anyway, the reason I do it is because I don't want my opponent to hear the contact between the paddle and the ball. Because the contact I can tell by the contact sound what kind of spin or lack thereof is on that ball. So it's very, very strong to me what kind of ball is coming. Is it fast? Is it slow? Is it top spin, underspin, no spin? What is it? Based on the sound. So the rules allow me to disguise that if it's within my shot. I can't do this. We don't try that. Anyway, what's next? It was a very wealthy game. Only the richest people played this. It was a very wealthy game. Only the richest people played this. It was the nobles in England. And it had lots of weird names. They called it Whip Whap, Flim Flam, all kinds of weird things. It's interesting that I brought, well, it's interesting to me, I hope it's interesting to you. So you see I am passionate about it, right? Okay. I use a racket, we call this a racket when it has rubber on it. If it's just the wood, we call it a blade, and then the rubber, I actually put the rubber on. Every week I take it off, re-glue it, and put it back on. That adds speed. We don't want to know about it. Okay, and mine is actually hollowed out. Okay, because I want the weight on the top so that when I swing, the power goes through the ball. Most paddles, the weight goes through the ball. Most paddles are evenly weighted, or all the weight is in the handle. It's like any other sport. Bowling, you can have the ball drilled off center, or fingertip grip, or golf, different kinds of players. So we have unique products also. If you look at this rubber, I don't know if you can see it from here, but this rubber has pimples on it. See? And actually it has different kinds of pimples on both sides. It gets very confusing. And each type of, and mine is smooth, each type of rubber will do a different thing to the ball. This particular rubber, which is a long pip, if I try to put spin on the ball, it's like glass. It'll just rub right off of it. So if someone gives this person spin and they put it back, the ball, it can't do anything to it. You can't stop the rotation of the ball. This one you can do a little rotation and you can hit hard. You can't hit with the longer tips, but you can hit with the shorter tips. With this one, when it was brand new, the rubber, and I changed it frequently, I could hold the ball upside down. It's almost like flypaper in a way, and it gives me a lot of spin, a lot of ability to grip the ball. There's people who used to play. How many people played with sandpaper? And so you use sandpaper and you think, oh, I can put lots of spin, it's real gritty, right? Well, sandpaper is not allowed, okay? Not because it puts too much spin on the ball. There's nothing to do with the amount of spin. Really, the reason is it destroys the ball. Because each time you hit it, you're sanding the ball. So you're taking the balls off, you're winning the ball. So it's not a matter of grit. The fact is that the more grit, the less spin, because it doesn't sit on the pad long enough. Flat surface is better. Okay, let's go quickly over the rules, because people ask me a million rules, so we're just going to briefly touch on the rules. Until a few years ago, ping pong, table tennis was always played to 21. No longer. That rule was changed. We play now to 11. Why? Nobody knows why it was changed. Why I do, but I mean, does anybody really know why we changed? Why they changed the rules to 11? It's a real contemporary reason. No. Because we play more games to 11 to make a match.
So exhausting.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's more contemporary. It's because of television advertising. And a game of 21 took too long. And so we make games 11 and it makes it more exciting and commercial-wise. So back playing in the United States on TV, you know, they put more important sports like the World Series of Poker, you know, pool, badminton, but no table tennis. You know, only the second most played sport in the world, that's not on the United States television. Okay, so we play to 11, and we play an odd number of games, usually best of 5. So the person who gets 3 games first wins. And it's, we used to serve 5 serves. No more, now you serve 2 serves. You serve 2, your opponent serves 2. You serve 2, your opponent serves 2. If the score, and you have to win by 2 points. If the score is ever tied 10-10, then you serve 1-1-1-1. Okay. So there are many more rules, but that's suffice. And it's on that sheet that I passed out the rules, by the way. Okay. There are a couple, I've been watching everybody holding their paddles. You know, they've been holding it in all different unique ways. So there are 3 real grips. There's a grip which is called the C. Miller grip, where they actually hold the paddle like this. And it's kind of a windshield washer. C. Miller, by the way, is the name of the man. Andy C. Miller is my coach. He goes like this. So he always hits with the front. Backhand, forehand. He always does it. Very good in the center here because of the way he holds his paddle. Of course, he's not really great there, but he's been in the top 25 in the world, so he's pretty good. He's like 53 years old now, and he's still in the top 25 in the United States. Of course, again, he's stinking. But anyway, so this is one grip. When he coaches, he says never use this grip. But he does. The other grip is the Asian grips. There's lots of different variations. They call it a pen holder. It's like holding a pen. So they hold it with the hand down. So if you have a Japanese pen hold, they actually have a little piece of wood here, and their finger kind of goes around it like that. And so they do this. Very, very good for the forehand. The Chinese do this. The Koreans do this. They're all a variation of this. But they hold it, and it gives you really good flexibility with your wrist and very good forehand stroke. Of course, backhand is not so good. So just in the last 5 to 7 years, they've been trying to do this. hitting with this way and this way, and they're getting good doing it. Now, the funny part is they're no longer teaching this in China very much. They have gone to the Western way of holding it, and that's the shake hands way, and that's holding it like this. So we tend to hold it more with the head down so that it can come up and spin the ball. They use the wrist to do it. We use the forearm to do it. But this allows your backhand to really be strong because this is a very simple stroke. Whereas when it's like this is not, and this is very uncomfortable. But again, we're starting to do it more and more. The world champion from China does hold it like this, but the number 2 player in the world from China holds it like this. So there's no right or wrong. We're taught as coaches that if a player comes from to be learning to start coaching, and they hold it like this, and they're already a good player, don't change them. But if they're a not so good player, change them. Or if they're a kid, change them. Because the future of this is not there. This requires too much movement, too much footwork, because you have to hit more with your forehand no matter what. Even this is not as strong as this. So when they get to your backhand, you've got to move all the way over here. Well, it might be easy for my son, who's 23, but Jacob doesn't move that well. So, you know, he can't quite get over there that fast. You know, he can try. He can see that far when he's wearing his glasses, but getting over there, that's a different. So the grip is kind of important. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, okay. I wanted to put this in so that you could see somebody who knows what they're doing.
Why are there different colors?
Okay, that's a very good question. It used to be you can use any color. In fact, to this day, there is one special rule that says you can have any color. You can have green. There actually is some green rubber. It has no sponge. It's just a flat sheet of rubber with pips on the outside. And if you use that on both sides, it can be any color. But if you don't use that and it has any kind of sponge, you must have black on one side and red on the other, because there's no rule that says you have to use the same rubber on both sides. So it's hard enough game already. But if you have 2 different kinds of rubber and they're both the same color, then I have no clue as to which side you hit with. And that's even worse, because it really means something. When you hit a ball like this with a rubber that can't spin, it's going to come to me flat. If you do the same stroke with a rubber that can, it's going to jump. Well, I need to be, you got to give me a chance. So, you know, you can't go. No. And so you don't know which side you're hitting with. You have to, so now the rules are red and black. And it has been for like 35 years. It has to be red and black. You know, but, so a lot of people, you know, they still cheat. Nobody today. Only when Tito comes to the club does he wear his orange shirt. So, of course, you can't see the ball. You know? So, gotta wear your sunglasses, you know. But we use, you can't wear orange shirts. We used to use white balls, but too many people wore white shirts. And so, and also when we play in auditoriums and gymnasiums that have white walls, it's very hard to see the ball. Remember, the ball only weighs a little over 2 grams. It is 40 millimeters in circumference. It used to be 38. When the rules were changed from 21 to 11 points, they also increased the size of the ball to slow it down. Because on TV, you can't see it. You know, it goes too fast. So, I mean, you just cannot see it. And so they tried to slow it down. But what happened when they made the ball bigger to try to slow it down? The manufacturers made new rubber that hit the ball harder. They made new pedals with new kinds of wood, and like mine has fiberglass in it. So it's not just wood, it's fiberglass. And no, there's no rule as to the size. You can use a very large paddle, or like when I play somebody like Tito and I have to work really hard because he's very good, Then I bring out my secret weapon. Because I have to focus more, on what I'm doing. And so this is much better. And this is called a maxi paddle. There's actually a smaller one that my son uses. And I can tell you a real quick story about it. I was on a cruise a few years back, actually probably about 6 or 7 or 8 now. And this guy thought he was really good. He was from Costa Rica and he was on the cruise. This was the first night. And he was beating everybody in ping pong, cruises, ping pong. So he said, I could beat anybody. There's nobody. And I'm laughing because I could beat him with my left hand, right? But I didn't say a word. I said, I know somebody on the ship who can beat you. There's nobody here. So I said, okay, how about $100? Oh, I'll bet you $100. So I said, okay. And so he thought it was me. He says, are you ready to play? I said, no, I can't beat you. So I said, but I'll get the person. So I went down. My son was playing in the pinball machines. So I said, come on, you're going to be able to pay for your pinball machine. So come on upstairs. So he takes out his little paddle. This is big. He took out his little. The guy goes, what are you, making a joke of this? And so, anyway, my son proceeded to beat him 21-0. And 3 games in a row, 21-0. So the guy never got it. So the guy, he was then, changed his tune. He puts 5 20s on the table, right? There was a big crowd. And so I took one of the 20s, I gave it to my son. The other 4 20s, I gave it back to him. And I said, there was no question that you were not going to win. Every time on the cruise, it was a 2-week cruise, every time on the cruise that he saw my son, whoever he was with, he would go, this is the best player the world has ever seen. I mean, he was the nicest guy, but, you don't ever think you're so great, Tito always says, I'm a good player. I stink compared to other players. Okay.
Yo tenho esse going.
I was going to show you some real players. So let's,
over there. Shooting over there.
because everybody
Come on
wants
and
to
bang
know,
this.
how to play a little bit better.
Stay going on.
Is it Roy? He's Philippine.
He's filming himself.
Can I have one of those bottles again on your shirt?
No, everybody.
Yeah, he got one.
Everybody's going to get a ball. I have enough balls to pass out to everybody. You can pass them out. Oh, no, I got to go to the pass out person. Now, the only requirement of taking the ball is that you bring it when you come to the senior group because we need balls. Okay, I can't keep supplying them, but after all, they're at 3 cents a piece. Okay. Oh, how do you turn the TV on?
Make sure it's a switch. No, bottom of the table. Bottom of the table.
Tito, there's one bumblebee in here.
If you don't have one, we're
Without
come back.
You know Sting on Netflix.
Listen, I know table tennis. I didn't say switch.
Like, y'all listen.
Press down.
I want everyone to know that, we have a tournament coming up, April the 26th. And it's the first tournament that the state of Hawaii has ever had that is sanctioned by the United States Table Tennis Group, which is the Olympic group. It's only because they never had a referee before, so because now there is a referee, we can have a sanctioned tournament. We already have players coming to Hawaii from Oahu, Maui, and Kauai. So, and Phoenix, Arizona, mainland, where my students is actually coming to play in the tournament. So he won't win, but he's a nice guy. And, you know, so it's great if everybody comes and watches. Obviously, there's no charge to watch. We do have a unrated recreational event, and anybody who wants to play is welcome to come and just play, you know. The recreational. Okay.
Double ball.
Okay, let's make sure the volume is up so that everybody can hear it. Okay, so this will go over a little bit of what we talked about. Can everybody see it?
The most common grip used by top players is called a shake hand grip. Although there are other successful techniques, this program concentrates on this technique. All sides are in reference to right-handed players. Left-handers must invert the sides. This is the shake hand grip. Hold the racket loosely with the right between the thumb and the
That's our best young player from the United States, Martin Wazinski.
along the edge of the backhand.
I'm not fit to carry the water.
My finger looking go inside.
Keep your wrist tight with your forearm and don't angle it up or down.
Yeah, went off. Went off already. Went off.
It provides an advantage on the forehand while serving, but has an inherent weakness on the backhand side, which depends on the foot.
Okay, this is very simply how to put the ball in play.
In order to start practicing,
She was a
you must first
former
learn to put the ball
doubles
in
world
play in a
champion.
way that makes it easy to determine. This is the most common way to start a ball run. It produces a slightly top-spinning ball that is not too fast on the feet you can. Gently brush over the ball and drive it forward. In order to practice underspin ball, we need to learn how to put the ball in play with underspin. Let the ball drop onto the open racket and push it forward. As it rolls over the rubber surface, it picks up underspin. When you get more used to the motion, you need not bounce the ball on the table anymore to put the ball into play. You can strike it as it falls after the toss. This will prepare you for learning serves.
Okay, so this is your basic stroke coming up. Absolute basic. Forehand hit. We call it counter. That's
This
a
is the
former
forehand
world
counter.
champion.
Notice the rhythmic play and careful placement. The pace is moderate, so the round can be kept up.
We will give each of you 3 weeks.
Notice how the feet are constantly in motion and the balance
Notice
shifts
the
with every
legs.
stroke.
Not the
Start in
guys.
the ready position.
Notice
Swing your arm back, twist your body to
it
the right,
really
and
takes
shift your weight
good
to your
physical
right leg.
condition.
After the ball
Now,
bounces,
at the
start to
highest
swing
level,
forward.
it's not for
Arm and body
How
move
to
forward
shake
to
you.
the ball. The balance shifts forward. Contact the ball at the highest point of its bounce, a little in front of you. This is the contact point. Snap your forearm on contact. Your weight shifts to the left for a short follow-through. Recover immediately to the ready position. Concentrate on crisp contact and develop a feel for it. Although this stroke is not used much during the game, it is very useful for the beginning phase of the warm-up,
CT
either for a match or before practice. It helps you gain the rhythm and touch you need for other strokes. Since it's relatively smooth, it allows your muscles to warm up without being stressed through a rhythm.
Okay, so I want to show you something that all of the people who have gone to the senior group have all done really well. And that is your footwork has been excellent. Watch. This is like, I videoed it and I put it on here.
The commentators are U.S. national team coach Dan C. Miller and the voice of the Chicago Bulls, Neil Fox.
He's a former world champion.
Yeah, O has that. He looks a little bit like Scottie Pippen, the former Bulls great, now a player with the Portland Trail Blazers. And has kind of that Scottie Pippen demeanor.
Footwork is one of the most critical components of the game. And although we all know how to run, specific steps optimized for table tennis have to be reversed. The main place is to get into position accurately to maintain solid balance and to perform a controlled stroke. Referee will leave open the choice of using a forehand or backhand and allow placement anywhere on the table with equal ease. We call this step the one step. Both feet move about equal distance
Now,
in the
if
required
you do
direction.
this, you will burn
With this step, we
200
adjust our
calories
position to the
every
ball.
15 minutes, including anti-coordination improvement, including no chance of
We
Alzheimer's.
try a small step. Push off with the left foot and skip into position. When
How
moving
much
to your
fat
left,
do his
skip
legs
with
have?
both feet simultaneously. The size of the skip varies according to the placement of the ball. This step will not only get you to the ball, but also out of its way, so you can make a comfortable shot.
Tito, you would think it was me if you didn't see his face, right? Like that? Well, that's world champion. 12 years of extensive training, only if you have the talent. Not only if you have the talent, but you also have to have the coaching to be able to get there and
This drill builds your ability to move across the table and come back for the backhand. Have your practice partner place the first and second ball to your backhand opponent. You play it first with your backhand, and then with your forehand, and the third ball goes to your forehand opponent. Skip over the
Oh, I see what he's doing.
You're
Look.
in the sequence
this is
starts
a
over.
very important drill.
The exercise is made up by a sequence of one
Honestly,
step.
it's one of the most
The feet
important
never
drills that
cross
I do
over,
when I
and all
coach.
movement is made by skipping with
Because it
both
gives
legs
you the ability
simultaneously.
to hit a backhand, to rotate the body to a forehand, and then move to a forehand. Then you have to get back to another backhand. It is the single greatest footwork drill. In 10 minutes of this, I don't care how slow you hit, you will be exhausted. Now, my students do it for an hour. This one drill, a half hour, non-stop. And I mean, I have to block it to the right place again and again and again. The better they are, the better my block. This one's more fun.
His seat the same. You can sit over.
With this drill, you build your ability to take a forehand on any ball you choose.
I mean, I just
Again, you use the one step to get yourself in a position. Your practice partner places the first ball on your backhand corner, the second in the middle, the third on the forehand corner, the fourth in the middle, and then you start the sequence over with the ball on the backhand corner.
Walter back almost in his defensive posture and still couldn't win the point.
The guy on the other side is the best player who ever lived by us. He is the Michael Jordan.
Watch this here. Beautiful cut. Look how far away he is. Check
He
out
has the best touch of anybody in the world. Nobody ever.
After you step around and take a
He was
forehand,
a
the
world
whole table
champion
is
in the
open.
80s. He was a world champion
If
in
your
the
opponent
90s.
places the
8
ball wide
times
to your
world
forehand,
champion.
you'll need
He
a bigger
is
step to get to it.
now 44 years of
Instead of
age.
stepping
I
over
don't
with
know
your
if
right
he
leg,
played the Olympics or
you make a
not.
big step with your left leg and contact the ball before you set down your left foot. Catch your balance with your right leg and try to start a new set.
In China, he is revered as one of the top 3 people, period.
With all these
Michael
drills, start
Jordan,
slow.
the basketball player from Houston, and
This will not only allow your partner
Walter.
to learn to
Walter
control the
opened
ball,
up a
but also
restaurant
will
in
give you an
Beijing.
easier ball to play.
He beat all the Chinese
Later, when
players
you're solid with
in
your
the
strokes and
last
footwork,
Olympics.
but
He
only
was
then,
40
your
something
practice
in the
will
world,
change
and
gradually
in the
from consistency
quarterfinals, he
practice
beat
to
the
power
number 2 in the
practice.
world, which was from
And at
China.
that point,
And
you'll try to
so
go through the
nobody
ball,
wants to
making your
play
shots as
him.
powerful as you can.
Because no matter how old he
You don't have
is,
to worry about
they
how
never
many
know what they're going to get. His touch is amazing. still use white, but the pros don't play where they have white walls, lights everywhere.
The wall is black.
Now, the reason that they use white ball, to be honest, the guys who make the best balls in the world, he told me that the orange ball doesn't bounce as well and doesn't last as long. There's something in the pigment. So the white ball, probably saying that because white's cheaper to make and they sell it at the same price. But anyway, but the white they say lasts longer and bounces more true. So the pros still use only white. But at every other level they use orange. At our top level in the United States, at our nationals, US Open, they still use orange. They don't use white. Only the World Olympics and the World Championships do they use white. But someone asked me about distance from the table. And, you know, years ago, they used to play a lot further back from the table. You know, they would play, this is a table, they would play back this far. Because if you watch, a lot of them would be doing this kind of stroke. They'd be chopping the ball. And it was a much slower game. And as you step further back from the table, your angles grow. So, you know, if the table's this big and I stand here and you hit it on that angle, I can reach both of those without too much problem. But if I'm back here and you get there, I can't. So, as you step further back, the ball, if it's traveling really fast, you're never going to get to it. So there's a trade-off as to how far back to give you more time is good because you got to travel so much further. And if I have to go all the way over here to get the ball, and now they put it on that side, I got to go all the way over there to get the ball. You know, I'm running a marathon, it isn't going to happen. So in today's game, everything is closer to the table. In addition, it used to be that when they did an offensive stroke, they used to come from down here and go all the way up here. It was big, long strokes. Well, and they were vertical. Today's game, much more horizontal. If you watch older players play, a lot of them loop, that's the name of the stroke, go like this to there. But when I loop, I come from here to there. So I go much more horizontal. So I put a lot of spin on the ball, goes fast, but it doesn't go up and put a big arc.
But I would think it'd be difficult to have it bounce once. You know what I'm saying? You go over, it has to bounce once, and then you get to that.
Correct.
And that is a little difficult, I would think, you know, because you're close. You know,
Well, you'd have to hit near the edge of the table before you would rush me to go back.
you'd have to tip your paddle a little bit to make sure that it will.
Well, first of all, this is the distance that, if this is a table, this is the distance you usually stand. This distance, okay? All the time. Now, if you can hit right at the end, then you're going to push me back another step without question. The difference between one of the lines we use is, you know, a table has a white line all the way around it and a line in the middle, but the lines don't really mean anything. You know, they're basically so that you see where the end of the table is. Only when they play doubles does the line in the center mean something,
But
because
you have
otherwise,
it bounce once on the other side,
when
and
you,
the opponent's side.
right, you have to have, when you serve, you bounce once on your side, then it goes over to the other side, bounces on the other side. Now, it can bounce as many times on the other side, but if it bounces more than once, it's my point. But when I serve very short. So when I serve, my ball has a lot of spin. In addition to having a lot of spin, the ball will bounce this close to the net. It will come over here, bounce really close, come up and hit the net, come back towards the net because I have so much spin on it. You got to get it quick. If you don't get it quick, that's my point. So, but just when you think that's going to happen, that's when I serve it fast into your body. So you better not step it in because it's going to come right into your gear. So, you know, I can see what you're doing.
Is this a penalty if you go beyond the table?
On the serve.
Stand up.
Only on the serve.
Oh,
I have seen it. I mean, this is this has happened where, well, okay, I can serve a serve that goes like that, where the ball bounces and it will come right back to me. Okay, so it would bounce on my side, go over and come back. Well, if he doesn't touch it and it touches my side, it's my point. Okay, because he's got to touch it first. All right, but nothing stops him from coming to my side of the table and hitting it straight down. There's no rule in table tennis that says the ball has to go over the net?
What if it hits the net?
Okay, that's a good question. Let's just say this is the net, okay? And so obviously in a table tennis, there's no side net, okay? So this is the table, right? Okay, and this is the net. This guy hits the ball here on an angle and the ball goes over here, right? I can take it from here and put it back on the table around the net. Doesn't have to go over, and I do that many times. You do it with heavy cut, and the ball will slide right there. It's impossible to return it. But it doesn't have to go over the net. On a serve, if I serve it and it hits the net and goes over, so that it would have been a good serve except that it hit the net, we call that a let. It goes over again. There's no limit. It's not like tennis. I can do that 50 times in a row, and I have to take the serve over again. There's no point awarded. I tell my students, because they get frustrated when they do that, like in lessons and training, they do that to me. And they, oh, sorry, I hit the net. Don't be sorry. You kept the ball very low, because the lower it is, the harder it is for your opponent to hit the ball back. Okay? You don't want to serve where the ball hits their side and bounces this high, because then they can kill it. So you want it so it goes and bounces lower than the net if possible, because then they have to hit up. Okay? You don't want it to go higher so they can hit down. You want it so that it goes lower so they have to bounce, bring it up. So I tell them, don't be upset that it hit the net. That's very good that you kept it low. In addition, you're making your opponent upset in a way because they're ready, and now it hit the net. Hit the net again. I mean, we have all kinds of sayings like, what do you have, a contract with the net? You know, what is it? So there's all kinds of things. Not always nice people playing table tennis. But anyway, you keep doing it again and again and again. It's good. Keep it very low. Now, if it hits the net and doesn't go over, then it's a point for your opponent. Also, a serve takes place as soon as it leaves your hand. So if you do this, that's a point for your opponent. Because once it leaves, it's a serve. Okay? If you throw it up, oh my God, I threw it, it's still a point for your opponent. The only time it's not is if you throw it up, and Henry starts shouting at you. You didn't expect that when you threw it up. Something from outside the area of your game occurs. Then an umpire calls that a let, and it can be taken over. Or a ball from another court comes into your court. But once the ball leaves the palm of your hand, it is a serve. And, since we said that, a serve starts in your flat, open palm of your hand. A serve cannot happen. These are legal rules. We don't play that in the seniors. But if you do this, that's not allowed. Because we don't want you to be able to impart any spin on the ball when you release the ball. Okay, so you have to be able to throw it up nearly vertical. This is not nearly vertical into your paddle. It has to go up, and then you have to hit it on the way down. And the ball must be thrown up at least 6 inches. This is 6 inches. So that's what you have to go. Now, it could be thrown up more. You could throw it up all that high and serve it.
You be careful.
Well, it does when I hit it, because I hit the bottom. And I'm too lazy to walk to get it. Okay. Let's see. Did I have anything else? Probably not.
But you said at the seniors we get.
There's no rules at the seniors. You could serve.
You turn them all over.
No. First of all, at the seniors, I haven't even been playing very much because, But last time I did play because I helped everybody that I played. I said, okay, and there are a few players who are really good.
Oh, I just want to ask you about, does height, the way I look at players, they're tall. Tall players are just get more advantage of playing.
This is a game of all trade-offs. So a tall player like the guy you saw there, Vladimir Samsonov, He's very tall. He's like 6'6", 6'5". When you're that tall, sure, you can stand there at the table and you have a great reach advantage. But when you have a great reach advantage, this area is very difficult.
Yeah.
So now what do? You know, so the reach advantage is good, but it's not good because now they're going to play more into your body. A short person, like, you know, a dwarf or a little person, or a kid, they're going to try to serve really short. But don't be fooled by kids. They're going to destroy you every time. I hate those little guys when we play in tournaments. And if they're 9 years old, you're guaranteed to lose. They're going to beat you. So, and especially if you think you're going to serve short, because their coaches are already telling them. And you get there and they get that ball and they destroy you. I lost many years ago to the Baltic kid. Anyway, so the tall people you play in here, also people who are, shall we say, physique like you.
So you play outside?
We play more into the body because you see you need to move the body out of the way. There's a lot of body that needs to move. So the more body that needs to move, the harder it is. So but to me, like, I can move pretty well. So where are you going to play against me? Well, you know, it's not always easy to find a place that I can't get to really. So a short person, the advantage they have is the table's only 30 inches above the ground, okay? Which is why kids do so well. Because, for instance, when I give somebody heavy backspin, let me tell you, if you touch it, and you know, because I've done it to you, you can't lift it off. You need a crane to lift the ball because it has so much backspin. As soon as it touches it, goes right down. So what you have to do is you have to start really low and come up. In fact, when we teach juniors, they must touch the floor with the tip of the paddle every time because they get lazy too. You know? Once you tell them to do this, they do it every time. I mean, that's the great thing about kids. They have no bad habits. So you tell them to do that, that's what they do because they don't know. And they have no fear. So they just do it. But Tito, I tell him to do that. He says, I can't even see the floor! But anyway, so when you're a shorter person, though, you don't have to bend as much. So there's advantages. A tall guy like Samsonov, he's got to really get low to get to that ball. So it's always a trade-off. Always a trade-off. Any other questions? Okay, well, I sure hope that you guys are now...
Tell them how much you bought the table that you can bring over.
Oh, my table? Well, I have 2 tables at my house that are $2,000 each. I also have a robot at my house, table tennis robot that's very expensive, but there are cheaper ones than mine. And it will do everything. I mean, it will serve to you heavy underspin, then it will hit you topspin, then it will give you a dead ball long. I mean, it will do all kinds of stuff wherever you want it. And so it's a professional teaching tool. I mean, I coach, you know, if anybody really wants to take this seriously, I take private lessons, that's what I do. And I also sell equipment, but, I mean, I'm not here to do that, but that's what I have done, and I have a company in Arizona that my son runs it now. So my son is a very good player. Hopefully he'll come visit and maybe we can do a demonstration. He was here in November. We actually went all over the island and gave demonstrations all through Waimea and all different schools. And so it was kind of neat. And they loved it. He's been right at Olympic level, just a little lower. But he's a very good player, not like me.
One more question.
As many questions as you have. Yes?
Do you have it in the school folder?
Well, see, it's on there actually that I would like to. I'm supposed to meet with people at Parker School. They were talking about putting together a table tennis club. What I would like to do, is to get schools to have table tennis clubs. And when there's basketball or volleyball and they go from one school to another, then they take their table tennis club and go. You don't need a whole gymnasium like you do for basketball. You have teams, so you only need 2 tables, really. or 4 tables if you're going to have boys and girls playing. And if you have a school, a high school that also has a middle school that feeds to it, then you start out with the kids in the middle school like a B or C group, and then as they get better, they move to the varsity or A group. This is being done in many states, not in Phoenix. We couldn't get it done in Phoenix either. Every school had ping pong tables, which they used for, well, good to hold books on. People ate lunch on it, so it's good, like an extra table. But it's a great sport for kids because it's very, very little injuries. I mean, it's not like playing football. It's not like playing hockey or basketball. But the problem and the reason it doesn't grow in the schools in the United States is there's no money in it. And so scholarships are very limited. There are scholarships for table tennis. Texas Wesleyan, a school in New Jersey, Georgia, one in Colorado, those all have scholarships for table tennis. So you better be really good by the time you're 17 if you want to get a scholarship. There's just not that many. But I would love to get schools involved. I was told Coahalla High School has tables, never used. I don't even know, there's probably more king spiders on them than there are back then, a lot. But there's tables in lots of places, but they're not being utilized. We are finally, not finally, but thankfully, Parks and Recs locally has authorized the purchase of 5 new tables. And in fact, I'm getting the purchase order from Hilo later today, and so I'll order them for them tomorrow, and hopefully within 4 or 5 weeks we'll get them for the time for our tournament. That would be good. Otherwise, we still have enough tables. But yeah, I would like to get into school.
Will there be a fee to enter the tournament?
In the tournament, there is a fee. I think it's $10. So, but you could come and watch. And if you don't want to play, you can come and watch. It'll be one day on Saturday, starting at 9 o'clock. And like I say, there will be some very good players. I mean, no world-class players, but there'll be some very good players. And we already have entries from all the islands. So.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And certainly the candidate for Older Gentleman of the Year should be there.
Okay, let's proceed with our meeting.